Wake up! Wake up, wake up, wake up! Up you wake, up you wake, up you wake, up you wake! This is Mr. Senior Love Daddy, your boy's choice.
He's not. He had a long day, man. He had a long day.
I'll get there. Hold on. Let me just...
Right. Yeah.
In your Seasick Birmingham Records t-shirt.
Get there mentally.
Yeah, dude. It's a pretty gangster shirt, actually. Okay, cool. So I'll intro us, and then we'll pause just in case we got to chop anything up, and then we'll go into that Wikipedia link.
All right, hit it!
So, hello to all of our listeners. This is the first episode of Totally Biased, where me, myself, Christian Kane Hicks, Trace. Wait, do we do names or no? Or you just want an intro?
Names. We can do names.
Okay, cool. Hello to all of our listeners, and this is our first podcast of Totally Biased. I don't like doing this, actually. I'm not feeling it.
Okay. All right, Trey, you give it a go?
One of y'all rip one up.
Trey?
All right, I got this. It's like the one scripted thing. We just can't get it down.
Yeah.
All right, no pressure.
All right. Hello to all of our listeners. This is Totally Biased Music. This is our very first podcast episode. My name is Trey. I don't know.
You have like an NPR voice going on.
I was going to make a joke about it at the end. Damn it, dude. Let me get to my fucking bit. Let me get to my punchline.
All right. Go.
Hello to all our listeners. This is Totally Biased Music, and this is our very first podcast episode. My name is Trey Seville, and I'm here with my cohorts, Christian Kane Hicks and Blake Michael Poljasic. And if this sounds like a boring NPR podcast with wrong middle names, that's because it is. And you're going to listen to these nice, soft opinions that's going to lull you to sleep this evening. So please sit back, relax, and enjoy the musical stylings of one Lil Wayne as we review The Carter 3, released in 2008. Amid release dates and leaks, The Carter 3 became one of the most anticipated releases of 2008. It debuted at number 1 on the U.S. Billboard 200, selling over 1 million copies in its first week, which made it one of the fastest-selling albums in the U.S. It reached sales of 2.88 million copies by the end of 2008 and produced 4 singles that achieved chart success, including the international hit Lollipop and Billboard Hot 100 hits A Milli, Got Money, and Mrs. Officer. Upon its release, The Carter 3 received widespread acclaim from music critics and has since been regarded as one of Wayne's best records, a conversation that we will no doubt be getting into. It earned Lil Wayne several accolades, including a spot on Rolling Stone's list of the top 500 greatest albums of all time. It was nominated for Album of the Year at the 2009 Grammy Awards and won for Best Rap Album, while Lollipop won Best Rap Song and A Milli won Best Rap Solo Performance. It's been certified 6 times platinum by the Recording Industry Association of America and is easily Lil Wayne's most popular album to date. This will be the most official thing that we say all day, as Christian is sure to make some form of dick joke within the next 10 seconds. Thank you for listening, and I hope you enjoy Totally Biased Music.
All right, I fell asleep halfway through it, but I didn't think it was bad.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. See, it wasn't that bad.
I thought you were gonna
good.
I kind of wanted a little more energy with it. I thought like after you did the NPR bit, you were gonna do a non-NPR thing, you know?
Right. I kind of was gonna leave that up to y'all. I kind of figured you would fill in the inappropriate gaps there, because I'm the most appropriate in this group.
You were on a roll. I didn't want to stop you again.
Yeah, I appreciate that. Yeah, again, twice.
Okay.
All right. Well, can we get started with actually talking?
Yeah, so what Trey meant to say is we're about to review the fucking Carter 3 and why Lil Wayne has slowly but surely turned into looking like the main character from E.T.
Listen, I feel like we should leave this full, like, not that much Wayne hate, not like the Cuddy episode.
No, there's no. Everybody loves Wayne, but he looks hilarious. You have to admit that, right?
He looks like a crab apple. Yeah.
Yeah, he does look like a crab apple.
Everyone knows that, and he can't hardly talk anymore because the lean has seeped into his brain and every neuron that he has left. But
yeah. Okay, the first thing I thought about was the fact that this shit was 14 years ago. So I just want to travel back in time briefly to when you guys first heard this album. How old were you, and were you a Lil Wayne fan before, or was it like a brand new experience for you?
So I first heard this album actually through Christian in that fucking tan excursion in the high school parking lot. High school name redacted, We got to stay anonymous.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I was not a Lil Wayne fan, and really and truly, I wasn't that big of a rap fan. Like, I didn't really like rap music. This is the first album I ever heard where I was like, oh, rap music's kind of fucking sick. And it was like we would run this thing on repeat for years. So much so the first time I got a car, which was like 2 years later, it was like the first thing I bought.
Yeah. Christian, what about you?
What was I, fucking 2008? I was a fucking sophomore in high school. That doesn't even seem like a thing anymore, and I was probably the biggest fucking douchebag you've ever laid your eyes on.
Oh, you were
But
terrible.
like thought that I was edgy. I hadn't really found anything out about real music. And the second that I heard Lollipop, I called my high school sweetheart of the time. We're gonna leave her name out of this.
Say her name.
And I immediately,
Say her name.
her name was Roberta Paulson. I called her immediately. And I had to make sure if her parents were home or not, so I could go over there and rinse that booty hole to Lollipop on loud.
That sounds about right. I was 12 years old when this album came out, and I had only listened to, at the time, I think like exclusively, I was listening to probably Eminem and Jay-Z. I think those were the only albums I had bought at the time. And I have a distinct memory, which I feel like the majority of geriatric millennials have around our age, where I heard A Milli for the first time. I was riding in my sister's car. I don't remember exactly where we were going, but I remember hearing A Milli and being like, this shit is really fucking tight. What is this? And it was it was that weekend that it came out. And I just went totally unhinged, OCD obsessed, and was like watching that Carter documentary that came out. And then he performed that weekend at some show. I can't remember what it was. I think it might have been the VMAs. Watched the performance, like just fucking went nuts with it because I have no self-control. And that kind of started that whole obsession.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure when I first heard it, it was when I was in high school. For our listeners, I had this hand-me-down expedition, white expedition, and the suspension in the back only had gone out, but I had two 14s in it, so it looked like I was in this gangster ass lowrider. And I will never forget fucking blasting A Milli in that thing, riding through the fucking trailer parks of Pelham, Alabama, thinking that I was hot shit.
It was one of those it was one of those songs that anybody that had subwoofers in their car, which is basically everybody in our high school, was like, you have to play it Millie right now, because it just you didn't realize how hard that shit hit until you had somebody with a car with subs in it, and it rattled the whole fucking thing.
Yeah, it was
Hear the
very
song.
similar to like the reaction from that like Jay-Z track, Put On.
Yeah,
It was like one of those visceral reactions of like it violently shook
Jeezy.
anything near you. Oh,
Yeah.
Jeezy, that's what it was. Yeah.
I do want to say, I know we talked about this earlier, but we are talking about the Carter 3 version that is the real Carter 3 that was intended upon release, which includes the 5 songs from The Leak and Playing with Fire over Pussy Monster. That's how we're going to talk about this album. If you don't like it, eat a dick, go listen to a different podcast. That's how the album was supposed to come out, and that's how we're reviewing it. So with that being said, what
I feel like there were more songs that weren't on The Leak and weren't Playing with Fire that were supposed to come out. Am I wrong about that?
So there was bonus tracks. So there was a Lollipop remix with Kanye and Static Major, and then there was Prostitute 2. Yep. And then there was a Target limited deluxe edition that had Action and Whip It on it. Diesel produced all 3 of those. I don't think, in terms of Action and Whip It, not a lot of people talk about it. I think those were added in on the second disc of, like, the second disc was The Leak, and then he added Action and Whip It too. But the Leak originally was I'm Me, Gossip, Kush, Love Me or Hate Me, and Talking About It, which are all fucking phenomenal songs. And had it released with them, I don't know. I think there is a debate about whether or not this is his best Carter. Had those been on there officially, there would be no debate that those songs are fucking phenomenal.
Do you think that I'm Me was supposed to open up the album?
Oh yeah,
it was. Yeah.
Yep, 100%. And because he says this is like probably the fourth or fifth line is this is the Carter 3, the New Testament. So I feel like that was very much supposed to be the intro track.
But with that being said, Three-Peat as an intro track is untouchable.
Yeah, it's perfect.
It's perfect. Like the little string. Yes, sir.
Yeah, it's fucking great, man. It's such a great intro. Three-Peat into Mr. Carter into a Millie is such a good 3-track run to open that album. And it's just that those set of songs where those songs where if you listen to an album so many times without it being on shuffle, that when one song ends, your brain just automatically thinks that a certain next song is going to start. Mm-hmm. Every time Three-Peat is ending, I just automatically assume that Mr. Carter's coming after it because it just seems like it fits.
I feel the same way about Got Money and Comfortable. Honestly, the first 6 songs on this album are just untouchable. And then we can talk. You want to talk about the things we don't like?
Yeah, let's talk
about that out of the way.
Yeah, we can talk about the tracks we don't like.
Phone Home's not good.
Okay.
It's campy. Way too much auto tune.
Yeah, I'm with you.
T-Pain auto tune. Pussy Monster's dog shit.
Doesn't count.
Honestly, that's kind of it for me.
Yeah, can you play the beginning of Phone Home and skip 10 seconds in real quick so I can listen to it?
I got you.
Christian, what do you think? What songs do you not like on it?
I'm pretty much right there with Trey.
All right, so cut here. We'll do it in post. We'll throw Phone Home on. For this beginning part from 20 seconds on.
Yeah, because I really just wanted to hear the verse. I hadn't heard it in a while. It's funny that you guys said that. I always skip that song when I listen to it or when I listen to the album, but the beginning is kind of corny and the chorus is dog shit, but I think the verses are actually really great on that song. I mean, if I had to cut fat, I would cut that song.
Yeah.
But I really like the verses.
It's a 16-track album, and it's an hour and 20 minutes, which is a lot longer than you would think, just talking about this album in particular. It feels like it's a lot shorter. Yeah,
that's 16, not even including the leak. So it would have been 21 tracks, which is crazy.
But I think that Pussy Monster would have been cut.
Well, yeah, it would have been Playing with Fire. I think, that's what I was saying. I think that he initially, I don't think he intended to have 21. I think the 5 leaked, and then he started from scratch, essentially. So, yeah, it probably wouldn't have been 21 tracks, but I just count the album as all 21.
Yeah, Carter 2 kind of started the era of Wayne, right? And this was kind of not the peak of the era of Wayne, but the early upside, I guess you would call it, because from 2008 to 2011, it was Wayne's
there's
world.
Nothing else.
No pun intended. Yeah, every track had a Wayne song on it.
Yeah.
And we can get into Dr. Carter later, which is the best song on the album. But he actually did really and truly bring back a whole different thing of hip hop with Carter 3, really with Carter 2, which is the superior album.
I don't know about all that, but I would my least favorites are probably Phone Home. I know this is a really good song, but Tie My Hands I don't really love. And then I'm not going to talk about Pussy Monster because in my heart, it's Playing with Fire, not Pussy Monster. And for those that don't know, if you go listen to the Carter 3 now, it has Pussy Monster on it, but originally it released with a song called Playing with Fire with Betty Wright. And it got taken down because there was a sample that essentially was a Rolling Stone sample. So they had copyright issues. So somewhere out there, I'm sure someone has a hard copy with Playing with Fire still on it, which would be awesome to find. But yeah, those are the only tracks I don't really like. Tie My Hands would be really good if Robin Thicke weren't in it. He sucks. I hate him.
Oh, what? No.
I hate him.
Tie My Hands is awesome.
No, dude, he sounds so corny in that song. Go back and listen to the way that he's singing the chorus. It's uncomfortable to listen to.
I'm with you there, and I'd pull off You Ain't Got Nothing, but that's just because Jules Santana and Fabulous. I'm fucking good. Thanks so.
Is Jules Santana dead? Me and Blake were talking about that earlier. I haven't heard of anything.
I mean,
that guy in 10 years.
I can only hope so, but
No,
who's to really know?
Jamie, look that up.
No,
All
he's
right,
still alive. He's still alive. Also, I was thinking, can we come up with a different made-up nickname for our fake tech guy? Can we call him John or something?
I think we should call him. Can we call him Chet?
I know that you're a huge Joe Rogan fan, but I don't really want to be associated with that in any way, shape, or form.
I don't know if you're allowed to say Joe Rogan on other podcasts. I think you get like
Spotify sending people after you.
They're like, no, he's ours.
Okay.
Jules Santana is not dead.
Yeah, thanks. I just said that.
Real birth name LaRon Lewis James, born in New York City.
This is the Jules Santana podcast now.
What is he doing? Hold on. Let's see.
Okay, well, while Trey looks up shit we don't care about, Christian, favorite songs?
Favorite fucking song? God damn. Oof. Honestly, in its entirety, and this is going to be a very unpopular opinion, it's just Mr. Carter. I think it just, for me, has a nostalgia value that kind of trumps a lot of songs on this, but that's going to take the cake for me.
Yeah, I totally feel that. What are some of your other top ones?
I mean, fucking obviously that run that y'all were talking about, three-peat, Mr. Carter, A Milli, Got Money, fucking Miss Officer, like Shoot Me Down, fucking
yeah.
Law,
Shoot Me
this.
Down,
I mean,
so
it's just
good.
like you run through this and you're like, Mother of God.
Yeah, it's an ungodly. It's so like every song is so good. Trey, what about you? Favorite songs?
So my favorite songs. I wrote a document. I actually prepared today, boys.
Wow, I'm really impressed.
I know. I'm impressed with myself as well. Dr. Carter, which I think is probably it's like a top 5 rap song ever, in my opinion. Produced by one Kanye West, by the way. Oh, we got to get into the Kanye part of this whole fucking album because Kanye's all over the place.
Dr. Carter's not produced by Kanye. It's produced by Swiss Beats.
That's a Swiss Beats, excuse me. I corrected myself before you got there for the record. But he does produce Let the Beat Build.
Yeah, he does.
And I think he has a writing credit on Mr. Carter as well.
Mr. Carter?
Yeah, I think he has no, he does not.
No.
But yeah. So Dr. Carter, A Milli, Mr. Carter, Tie My Hands, Let the Beat Build, and Shoot Me Down are probably like my favorite on here. I love Shoot Me Down. Also, I learned how to play that song on guitar because it's incredibly easy.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, when I was like 16.
Yeah.
Which I was pretty proud of in the moment. It's like,
did you try to play it? Did you try to play it at Right Night but then forget how to play it?
No.
He did Wonderwall.
Okay. So my favorite song on the entire album is Shoot Me Down. And then I'd say the next 3, I'm Me, Three-peat, and then I don't know, man. This sounds so cliche to say, but A Milli. I just never get tired of that song. Also, when I was re-listening to this, I think it's funny how like Wayne kind of dates himself with this album. Like on Three-peat, he references the movie Click by Adam Sandler, and he brings up Stuart Scott. And it's like listening to it now, it's like, wow, neither one of those things. Like, I bet if an 18-year-old listened to that, he'd be like, I don't know any of those references.
On Dr. Carter, he references Vince Young. What is it? Hold on, I gotta find the line. It's hold on, give me 1 second.
He also, I don't know if it's that song. In one of them, I think it's
It says, now I'm like lightning, or you ain't Vince Young, so don't clash with the Titans. Which I'm pretty sure Vince Young and the Titans were having like contract negotiations like in 2008.
He also at one point, one of my favorite references on the album is Capital One, What Is in Your Wallet? He just like throws that in because it rhymes. And I just find it really like jarring every time I listen to it. Yeah, so those are my top ones. Also Kush is like that song that everybody that was a teenager smoked weed like one time and then they listened to Kush like on repeat on their iPod because they thought they were super cool. And I really love the nostalgia feel of that song.
Yeah, everyone thought they smoked a lot of weed whenever they heard this album, like even if they didn't. They're like, oh yeah, I've smoked weed once, therefore I'm like a huge stoner. I'm sparking it up like Wayne.
Yeah.
By people, I mean me. I'd smoked weed like twice, and I told everybody that I was a big stoner.
Yeah, you're super cool.
Yeah, I thought it was cool. All right, we gonna talk about Lollipop.
What about it? I think it's great.
It's not that good, but
It was
at the
great
time,
as a single.
At the time, it was an absolute banger, and the music video is fucking incredible. R.I.P. Stag Major.
I know, it's hilarious. God, when he's on top of that fucking limo.
It's just like,
yes. And it's heightened by the fact that he's 5'4", so he looks so funny on top of that limo. Yeah, I think it's so he won. You said it earlier, but nominated for
one best rap album, lost best album, which is the Grammys are racist.
Yeah, no surprise to anybody. Which I want to see what it was going up against.
That's a good question. Chat, will you pull that?
When this came out. So album of the year was the Robert Plant album won it. I remember being super pissed about it. It was
the Robert Plant Alison Krauss album.
Yeah.
Okay, that album is really good.
Viva La Vida or Death and All His Friends by Coldplay, The Carter 3, Year of the Gentleman by Neo, and then this is gonna hurt Trey, In Rainbows by Radiohead. Those are the album of the year contenders.
Okay, so In Rainbows is the clear winner there, like not even a question.
Yeah, but you can't expect the Grammys to make a decision.
In Rainbows didn't win album of the year.
No, of course not.
That's so. I think a Moonshaped Pool did, which is the newest Radiohead album.
Yeah.
Are we gonna do a Radiohead episode one day?
There's something just like so weird. Sorry, Trey, but like I'm just reading through the lyrics and I feel gross. I just feel gross. Like without the song. Without the song like being played, I'm just like reading through this as I would like a fucking Ray Bradbury novel, and I'm like, what the fuck is going on?
She licks me like a lollipop. She licked me like a lollipop.
No, he goes, that pussy in my mouth had me lost for words. Go. So I had her back it up like erp. And I made that ass jump like jerp. Just like.
Can you read it in a little more official like voice?
Oh my god, it's so good.
It's not is the thing. Like, I like to touch your lovely lady lumps. I get her on top. She drops it like it's hot. And when I'm at the bottom, she Hillary Rodham, middle of the bed, give and get.
Here's the thing. That's not fair, though. If you read any lyrics like that, they're going to sound fucking bad.
Yeah, but I want to point out the Hillary Clinton shout out there.
Yeah, that was a cool shout out for sure. Yeah. I bet she appreciated that.
I'm sure she really loves it. She'll probably read it in Des Moines, Iowa when she's just chilling.
Yeah. What the fuck was I gonna say? I think it's crazy that this shit sold 1 million copies in less than a week, making it one of the fastest selling albums of all time. It kind of like, this sounds super fucking dramatic and over the top, and I realize this, but at the time it was kind of like hip hop was in this dying phase of music. And the Carter 3, like, and I know he says it in Dr. Carter, Welcome Back, Hip Hop, I Saved Your Life. But he kind of did, right? Like, hip hop was 100% dying in 2008, right? We had 808s and Heartbreak, which, I mean, looking back now is fucking phenomenal, but at the time was kind of panned upon release. And there wasn't much going on at the time. So did this album, do you guys think that this made hip hop what it is today, or do you think things would have been fine without it?
Well, let's think about, okay, so when was the last Outkast record? So that was in 2003, right? As far as the greats of hip hop, Jay-Z hadn't really been making much music. When was Blueprint 2?
Well, he had number one albums 06, 7, 8, and 9, but that doesn't mean, they weren't like what are they going up against, right? So it's like, it may not be
Yeah, but I mean, even that, like, so 2007's American Gangster, which I'm trying to think of like the great hip hop artists, right? Like what was happening between like 2004 to like 2008, and there really wasn't much going on.
There wasn't. So like Eminem was Encore, which we all know how Encore is. Kanye was, I mean, his big one was 808s and Heartbreak. I think 50 released at some point during that. This remix is fucking awesome. 50 released at some point during that, but it wasn't Get Rich or Die Trying. And then in 2008, I mean, the Carter 3 literally went up against Paper Trail by T.I., which who gives a shit? Q-Tip released The Renaissance, Killer Mike released an album. But like you go look at it, and this was the only thing happening. Nas released Untitled, which is not a great Nas album.
Hold on, we're going to have to run back on this Paper Trail disc that you just kind of threw out.
there's nothing going on at the time, so it's like I think that might have played into why the Carter 3 was as successful as it was, right? Would it have had this impact had it come out in 2010 when there was a shit ton of hip-hop albums coming out? I don't really know if it sells as well as it does.
I don't think those albums come out in 2010 without the Carter 3, and I think that's kind of the point we're trying to make, right? Like, we kind of put everybody on.
Yeah. It absolutely brought hip hop back to the forefront in a major way. Man, that, and like just what it stemmed, that era that it stemmed of all of his mixtapes that came out after the fact, that run that he went on from 2008 to 2012. And then, you know, in 2010, that's when things really start to pick up. But yeah, before this album came out, that genre was dying, I think.
It's about as close to a perfect album as you can get. And also the range that he has, I think, on Carter 3, where he does a lot of different things in like an excellent way, is something he has not done on any other album.
Like and Carter, I was going to say, like, go ahead, Trey, sorry.
No, go ahead.
I was just going to say, I think from like how you accessed music at this time, trying to think back to 2008 and how music was kind of digested or how you got it on your fucking shitty computer or whatever it was really different. And it was, you kind of, at least from a hip hop perspective for me, it was like you're pulling tracks, like singular tracks from albums and stuff. Like you'd have one ripper banger of a track that you want to fucking download off of goddamn LimeWire, and you end up getting a porn video 12 times and you finally get it. But this was one of those, I think, that when it finally hit, like front to back rinse, like you wanted to own it, like you wanted to have the entire thing, not like you're pulling track for track off of something.
Yeah. And because like you wanted to be a part of this shit that everyone was talking about. Like everyone, anybody that was like a millennial, think about it, like Christian, you guys are, I think, at like the beginning of millennial, I'm at the end of it. That like anybody that was in that era wanted to and loved that album and talked about it. So it's like if you didn't have it and you went to school and people were talking about the Carter 3, you didn't have the hard copy, you didn't have it on your shitty little iPod Nano, it was like you felt like you weren't a part of like a cultural movement happening in music at the time, which I don't remember anything from, you know, kind of the last monumental Jay-Z album to that kind of had that effect on people. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I mean, there's no real reason to call me and Christian old there. But you could have made that. You could have made that point without making that point.
You're kind of the in-betweener. You're the in-betweener. So it was really just a Christian thing, actually.
Yeah, that's true. He's way older.
I know
than us.
you struggled to not make things about you, but that was kind of just a Christian thing.
You know, I hear that more and more recently.
Speaking of which, I was gonna say I don't fucking understand how shit was leaking in the early 2000s, right? Like now everybody's on the fucking internet. Everybody has a phone, computer that can download shit. Like, so if a leak happens, it's all over SoundCloud, all over whatever. Like, how was this album leaking? Was it LimeWire and shit like that? I don't really remember the leaks coming out at the time.
Yeah, it was way easier, way more prevalent for albums to leak back then because everyone was downloading their music illegally. So now everyone uses Spotify or Apple Music, or I don't even know if Google Play Music is a thing anymore. I don't think it is. I think it's adopted by YouTube. But now everyone's already like using these platforms where it's super easy to stream music. Back then you were already on. I used BearShare. you were already on BearShare or LimeWire, so if something got uploaded, it was a lot more prevalent for people to immediately download it.
Yeah.
I feel like leaks happened back then way more. I mean, I remember you and I specifically having many arguments about listening to leaks.
Yeah.
I can't even think of, the Kendrick album, JID album this year. Like, they didn't leak. And if they did, I mean, maybe they did on like hip hop Reddits and kind of like, subcultures, but it was not like a dominant thing.
Right.
That could also me being old and lazy and not being tapped into those as much as I used to be.
I think that I do think that's part of it, because like somebody sent me, we talked about this. We all talked about it when somebody sent me the Isaiah Rashad leak. His whole album, like what was supposed to be his newest album, leaked. So it's like, and I don't know, it's probably since been taken down, but I think it still happens. But it is weird that you're right. It seemed like it happened way more back then than it does now, which you feel like it would be the fucking opposite,
Yeah, exactly. I don't know. But you're right as far as like people wanting to be a part of something, like buying the record. I remember My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy being kind of the same thing. These are both albums. These are both albums from our high school years where you're surrounded by people that are your age, listening to similar things, and you're interacting with them 8 hours a day. Right. So it's a little, it's a little different. I don't know what kids have nowadays that like music comes out. I honestly, and you're going to both scoff at this, Taylor Swift, it would appear, is the person that people want to be a part of now. It's really fucking weird. Like not just like weird pop music. I do. It's a disgusting sentence, man. But like, I still have a little sister that's in high school, and like Rob's I don't know if I should say, we can cut that in post. Chet, cut that in post. My little brother, he's a big Taylor Swift guy. Like, people love that chick. And like when like I have people that I work with, their Slack profile name is like their name dash the date of her album coming out. That's weirdest.
Really embarrassing.
It's super sad. Yeah, sad and weird.
It is sad and weird. But yeah, I mean, you're right. That is kind of the thing. I don't know. Music just got to this point where there's no big. Lil Wayne was like the biggest. He was a household name. He was the biggest fucking artist in the world when the Carter 3 came out. Like, there was no one not talking about him. And now when these artists release albums that used to be huge, Kanye West, Eminem, Jay-Z, nobody has that level of fame anymore. It's kind of weird. I don't know if that's just like them getting old and us getting old and people moving on to other things, but it's not the same as it used to be. Christian's still shaking his head about this Taylor Swift thing, man. He's really upset.
He's really upset.
I have a sidebar, and it's related, but it isn't. So yesterday, I'm just smashing out some incline bench press in the gym.
God.
And there's this, and I'm listening to Jid and Denzel Curry, that track, bruh. So this is all going to make sense. And there's this girl in the gym that I refer to my close friends as the Centaur, because she has the body of the mythical creature, the Centaur. It looks like a normal human, but the second that you get to the waistline, it looks like someone blew her up with a balloon.
Okay.
She turns to me and she's like, hey, what are you listening to in here? And I was like, oh, Jid. She's like, well, I have no idea who that is, so I have to, explain a little bit. And she goes, oh, cool. And she was like, well, I'm listening to Taylor Swift. And I go,
on God,
in
bro.
the fucking gym? I was like, that sounds heinous. And I didn't ask. And then she turns to the guy that she was with, who starts just dying laughing. And then I put my headphones back in, and I go back to working out.
What was the weight you were pushing, though? That's what I want to know.
Oh, no, probably like 380 pounds or something with one hand.
Yeah.
For our podcast listeners, I'm super fucking strong, if you can't tell by my voice.
Yeah, it was light. That shit was light work for Christian.
I feel like your voice just went like 2 octaves deeper as you said that.
It did.
Yeah,
absolutely.
I'm actually a baritone.
So. Okay, so before I want to talk about some of these album reviews that came out because they're fucking ridiculous. But before I do that, let's one by one. What do you guys rank the Carter 3 by Lil Wayne? You start with we start with Christian.
Are we at that point?
We can be. We can keep going.
No. I think you're right. I do want to talk about Carter 2 versus Carter 3 for just a second.
Okay, let's start with that, and then we'll go to the rank.
Yeah, that's kind of what I figured. So I've been wavering.
Your opinion on this is wrong, but go ahead.
Well, give me a second. I've been wavering on this for 5 or 6 years because until the last 5 or 6 years, it's been Carter 3 without a doubt. And I go back and forth and I listen to Carter 2, and Carter 2 is a better like rap album. I think he's got better bars, but I do think, see, this is where you're gonna get with me. And I've gone back and forth with this just in the last couple months. I think Carter 3 is the best overall album between Carter 2 and Carter 3 and with Wayne in general. It's definitely his best record.
Okay.
So I was gonna get there.
I think the difference is like what we were kind of alluding to and talking about earlier is what it did for hip hop at the time for the Carter 3. Like the Carter 2, I think, in my opinion, lyrically is maybe a little bit better, but as far as putting kind of hip hop a little bit back on the map and being a more encompassing like full album that I think people from a lot of different backgrounds, people who didn't just listen to hip hop could enjoy, is the reason why it's on that higher level for me.
Yeah, no, I think that's spot on. Like the Carter 2, and this sounds so dickhead, Rolling Stone, pretentious douche of me to say, but I'm going to say it anyway.
Man hates Rolling Stone.
The Carter 2 shows how good of a rapper Lil Wayne is, whereas the Carter 3 shows how good of an artist he is, right? Like that's kind of the best way to describe the difference in those two albums. I mean, the Carter 2 opens with a 5-minute and 20-second track with no fucking chorus. And I don't even think Wayne stops to take a breath in that song. Like it's literally just him rapping for 5 fucking minutes. And he does that multiple times. But the issue with the Carter 2 is there's not really a single on it. I mean, I guess Fireman is a single that you can
Money
consider.
Money on My Mind.
But like there's 22 tracks on it. There's 22 tracks on it, and there's a lot of like fat you can cut from this album. Not to say it's not a great album, because it is, and he raps phenomenally on it. But the Carter 3 just as a whole is, even with the leak included, 21 tracks there's not much I want to take out of it. It's so fucking good.
All right, let's do rankings.
Yeah, with that being said, Christian, you got a final rank for C3?
Oof. I'm gonna put it at 8.75.
Okay, oddly specific. I like it.
Mm-hmm.
Trey?
I'm going to give it 9.5.
Okay.
Yeah, borderline perfect, especially when you're taking cultural impact.
Yeah. I am going to include, like I said, all right, I'll break this up. The first one, with the leak and Playing with Fire over Pussy Monster, I think it's a 10. I think it's a fucking perfect album. It's one of the best hip-hop albums of all time. I've been saying this for fucking ever. It's one of the best albums of all time, in my opinion, but easily one of the best hip-hop with all of that included. If you take out the leak, you replace Playing with Fire with Pussy Monster, I think it's a 9. Which sucks that he got fucked the way that he did with the way those songs were taken out and replaced and stuff like that. But yeah, just it's one of my favorite albums of all time. I never get tired of it. So
great. Has fantastic re-listenable value too.
Yeah, 100%. Okay, with that being said, I have to read you guys the paragraph. Let me just read you the opening paragraph.
Oh God.
Of the Consequence of Sound review that came out in 2008. It starts with, quote, "If you got money and you know it, I'm reading it how I assume this guy talks. If you got money and you know it, take it from your pocket, show it, and throw it. The above line is indisputably terrible financial advice. Besides the obvious carelessness of wasting money, pretty much anyone will tell you that waving your money in the air, figuratively or literally, isn't a particularly smart idea. The wealthy would say that such a statement is symptomatic of, quote, new money, fitting since Lil Wayne chose to name his record label Young Money. But the hook of Lil Wayne's Got Money, sung by T-Pain, could pass a mission statement for a particular subgenre of hip-hop music." This is where it gets really good. Artists such as Lil Wayne, Young Jeezy, and 50 Cent are often lumped together as gangsta rap. This may be close, but it is inaccurate. To radio-reliant teenagers, this is simply rap. It is all they know of the genre. To snobbish hip-hop heads, it is, quote, that radio shit. To those who, like myself, spend unhealthy amounts of time listening to rap music and studying hip-hop culture, I propose the term, quote, post-gangsta. What the fuck are you talking about? That is the first two paragraphs of this album. The first one is him talking about how you shouldn't throw money in the air. And the second one is him trying to, I guess, coin a new genre of music, quote, post-gangsta. I can't be the only one that realizes how fucking terrible this review is, right? From those two paragraphs alone.
I think this should be a segment, and it should just be called "Blake Has a Problem with Major Music Publications," or a catchier name for that.
And here's the thing: they gave it an A-, which is a great grade, but I can't look past the first two fucking paragraphs of it to finish the review and see why they rate it an A-. Okay, next on the segment,
post-gangster rap.
The Rolling Stone review. 4.5 stars they gave it. And I'm not going to say much about this, but that the review of this album is 3 paragraphs long. That's it. And it basically looks like if you gave like a 13-year-old the track list of the album, not like a normal 13-year-old, like one that was like had an advanced like AR reading level, like he read Harry Potter 3 or 4 times, and then you gave him the track list, he would write a review of it. I'm not going to go into it word for word, but you guys should really take a look at it. It's a marvel. So one of the greatest albums of all time, Rolling Stone dedicated 3 whole paragraphs to it. Pitchfork, I don't have much to say. They bitched about Lil Wayne playing guitar at a concert. That's like the first paragraph of that review is them talking about him being bad at guitar. And then finally we come to the Rolling Stone top 200 hip-hop albums of all time, where they rank this album number 39 on the top 200. And some of the albums above it are Nicki Minaj's Pink Friday at 31.
Okay.
A Cardi B album at like 18. And there's some other ridiculous ones, but I just thought it was appalling that it was at 39 and they didn't put it in the top 10. Thoughts on that?
Top 10. That's a whole other episode.
You should be able to tell me that this is in the top 10 hip-hop albums.
Dude, I just don't.
Definitely is, but to even argue about what a publication has to say about like top whatever is just like we'll sit here and we could go all day about how absolutely absurd it is that there's a Cardi B or even a Nicki Minaj who he pretty much brought on is above him, someone influenced by him, and that is obviously shit.
Yeah, that's fair.
I would say it's easily in the top 15, but top 10 just feels aggressive.
I mean,
it'll take deeper evaluation. I'm with you.
It would take deeper evaluation.
A little aggressive.
All right, that's fair. We can do a top 10 episode. Yeah, I don't know. I read that Consequence of Sound article and I was like visibly angry, so I just had to read that.
Right, that makes sense.
Okay.
Okay.
Are we going to?
We can talk about House of Dragon.
All of our favorite segments. No, I thought we were going to do quadruple T real quick.
We don't do talk about House of Dragon before we go to quadruple T.
Yeah, we can do that.
House of Dragon. It's a TV show. People have been watching it. Us 3 have been watching it. It's pretty phenomenal. I think that they're going to do a time jump for the next episode. Christian, did you get caught up?
Yeah,
I mean, they're definitely going to do a time jump. I don't feel the same way y'all feel about the television show, but feel free.
Really?
You don't like it?
I mean, like it's good. It's what I was talking to y'all about before. Like set wise, production, it just something feels off to me, and I can't get past it. I've tried to like do it every single episode, and every time I'm just like a little bit something's off. I don't know.
That shot in this episode where they like pan out and then they like have the rat coming up and drinking the blood while Rhaenyra and that other guy, the Corliss kid. I don't fucking remember his first. Do you remember his first name?
No.
Yeah, the Corliss kid. They're getting married and like crying, and like Viserys' like crown is on the ground. Like that shot's incredible.
I don't know. I thought the whole episode kind of sucked ass, to be completely honest with you.
Damn.
I'm gonna be honest. I've really liked this show up until this episode. Granted, I had drank a lot before I watched it, but which was probably not the best episode pacing wise to watch after being drunk. But it was so fucking boring, man. Like it was just like, oh, what's this scene? More people talking. Oh, sweet. I get to watch this for a couple more hours. Like it just never ended. And the climax was basically just people talking, and then there's chaos that happens that you have no idea why or what started it, and then a guy seemingly uninvolved beating the shit out of another guy that was seemingly uninvolved in the whole thing, and then it just kind of ended. It wasn't very good, man. I don't know.
It feels like they're taking a shortcut to longer plots that were set up in the original. It feels like a little rushed and not as like kind of schematically put together of these kind of like long thought out processes of this whole process, but maybe that's just me. But I will say, Trey, you are right. That last scene was sick. Like that was probably the only thing I enjoyed from this past episode.
God, that's my favorite sentence in the entire English language.
Oh God.
I don't know, man. I think it's really enjoyable. I think people still have a bad taste in their mouth from how Game of Thrones ended, which understandably
That's not even it. That's not even it. The show has been great up until this point. This episode just wasn't it. It was so fucking boring and pandering. I just hated it. I don't know.
Well, first off, does Rhaenyra want to fuck Daemon? Like, is she like in love with him?
Yeah. Is that not obvious?
Yeah, 100%, bro.
Yeah, I didn't realize it was that obvious till this episode when she's like, "Take me away." I was like, Jesus Christ. Like I knew she was
actual terminology she used.
I mean, literally, she's like, "Take me back to Dragonstone," you know, whatever. Ride me like one of your French horrors or some shit. I don't know, man.
Yeah.
Basically, she says, "Yeah, take me away and let's like, be dragons or some shit."
Yeah, I thought that was pretty obvious. She wants to smash on the regular.
Yeah, I didn't realize it was an on the regular thing.
Can we talk about this weird obsession with people on the internet in this show and the whole incest thing? People are like way too into it. Have you noticed that?
Into it, like they think it's hot.
Deserves a whole episode where we go in because the new mermaid shit that came out. That's a thing. The Game of Thrones,
I got a tweet
Lord
for
of the
that.
Rings. Full circle.
That's a good intro. That's a good intro to Trey's terrible Twitter takes.
Yeah, let's do it. Let's do Trey's terrible Twitter takes.
All right. Can we get an intro track here, Blake? I'm thinking "Bug" by Fish.
All right, yeah, I'll look into that. Thanks.
Thanks. All right. Hey, chat. Can we throw that in post? All right. Hold on. Let me share my screen because requires a picture.
Oh,
okay.
wait. Hang on a second. Hang on. Let me try this. Say Trey's terrible Twitter takes again.
Trey's terrible Twitter takes.
All right.
All right.
Hit us with it.
I love it. Okay. Hold on 1 second. So,
the first week Trey didn't have any, and now he has them, but he doesn't know where to find them. He saved them in like a Word document somewhere on his computer that he can't locate.
All right, I'm just going to have to send y'all a link so you can see the picture that associates this with this one. But then I will describe the picture to our audience. All right.
Okay.
So this tweet comes from Fahim, a.k.a. Dr. Durag. Twitter handle is @shatired. And they said, white women keep saying there's no representation for redheads, so Ariel being black doesn't make sense. Y'all so damn ungrateful. Here's y'all representative right here. And it's a picture of Quasimodo from Hunchback of Notre Dame. And it's like the ugliest picture of Quasimodo from the entire film.
Oh man.
I do want to point something out because I figured that this would be a good, Twitter subject while I was searching for some terrible Twitter takes. I was like, let me find some racist motherfucker that's talking about how fucked up it is that Halle Berry's playing Ariel. Found a lot more people getting counter angry than people actually getting angry about that subject.
Well, that's how that stuff normally works.
Right.
Also, it's not Halle Berry, it's Halle Bailey, but that's okay.
That's what I meant. I mean, it's just easy to say Halle Berry.
Yeah.
Also, that was kind of racist of me. Sorry, Halle Berry and Halle Bailey. I wasn't saying that y'all look alike. I was just saying that you have similar names.
I don't know.
What
man.
do you mean, you people? What do you mean, you people?
It's the
Trey's
same
Trey's
fucking name.
Yeah, I don't understand why everyone's mad about her bleeding black. What about the fact that she's 60? It doesn't really make much sense.
Well, the first time I saw it, I was like, damn, Halle Berry hadn't aged a bit. And then I was like, that's not Halle Berry.
Oh, my God. Okay.
All right. We got another one, okay? This one comes from Twitter user @JingyJongy. Name is I Have Sensitive Skin. On June 10th, Jingy Jongy says, Jimmy Fallon's entire existence is a psyop. Which makes a lot of sense, and let me tell you why. I don't think Jimmy Fallon's a real person. I think he's like this weird android thing that whatever major station that he works for has kind of put together just to be like the perfect host. You don't ever see him doing anything else. You know what I mean? He's just fucking on that show night after night.
Yeah, it does seem like a thing that NBC would do. I will give you that.
Okay.
But I don't know. If I dug enough into it, I feel like I could poke holes in that theory. It's just not a very sound theory.
I just think that Jimmy Fallon sucks, basically.
He does suck. He does. You're not wrong.
Agreed.
Okay, and then here is I have another one after this if we want to keep going, but this is probably my favorite. This is a video of Herschel Walker, who is running for state senate. Oh, hold on one second. Is running for state senate in Georgia, where he played football at the University of Georgia. So, he's going to get a shitload of votes based off of, Tommy Tuberville being a senator in Alabama.
Yeah.
And so he has challenged current Senator Dr. Raphael Warnock to a debate on October 14th. And Dr. Warnock has accepted this debate. So this is what Herschel has to say about the debate. Hold on.
So I'm preparing. I'm this country boy. I'm not that smart. And he's that preacher. He's a smart man, wear these nice suits. So he's going to show up and embarrass me at the debate October the 14th. And I'm just waiting. I'll show up and I'm going to do my best. So I'm preparing.
So Mr. Herschel Walker is just saying, I'm just a dipshit who's been hit in the head 4,000 times playing football. And I'm just going to lose, but I'm just going to show up and I'm going to try.
Why would he say that?
It's so weird. It's like at an official rally. And he's wearing like a nice...
fucked up crazy thing is people will resonate with that.
Oh, so many.
100%. They're going to love it. They're going to love it.
He talks just like me.
They're going to be like, I'm also fucked up in the head. And you know what? That boy does wear nice suits. He's right.
He's wearing a super nice suit jacket in this video too, like probably $700 to $800 minimum.
I think he brought up that this may be getting a little into the conspiracy side, but I feel like he brought up the nice suit thing to basically like say to his constituents, like, look, he doesn't dress like you, right?
Exactly, pretty much.
Holy shit, that's hilarious, amazing. I'll do it. Let's here's one more.
I'll give you one more. This isn't really a take or anything. It's just a tweet that I thought was funny that I figured both of y'all would resonate with. This is from Twink Bride, aka Squid Girl Pearl. This is actually a tweet from just yesterday at about 9:10 in the morning. 9:10 in the morning is an important part of this tweet because this is what this person's thinking about this. Don't be afraid to give your bros compliments. A simple nice outfit or you'd look good in a collar and leash could make his day. And like, I really resonated with that. You know what I mean?
That is
Like,
a good one.
yeah, I'm trying to compliment my
You
bros.
guys ever tell me that? You know?
Yeah, exactly.
Am I usually the one with the leash, like holding it? Is that why? Is that how
No,
you see
Blake. No, that's not how we see
That's
you.
how you see
Literally
me.
not.
No,
Literally not.
I get it. You guys, look, when we end, you guys can tell me about it. You don't have to say it for the pod.
Beta
I'm
cuck
not-
soy boy Blake
Yeah.
over here. Trying to
Soy-
act like out of nowhere he's dominant.
Soy
His
boy.
girlfriend chokes him out every night as he comes.
We're
It's like,
getting
big
into this
surprise
argument
here.
where you two try to figure out who's more angry in bed. All right, y'all can do that on your own fucking time. Everyone who's ever met you has heard this fight before.
Speaking of mouths,
Speaking of mouse.
Leans back.
He said, sorry, that was my dentist.
We should play that clip. Hold on, let me find it.
You know what it reminds me of? There's this Family Guy where, but there's also this Family Guy where Quagmire gives Brian a dentist like card, and he goes, "You have your own dentist?" And he goes, "Yeah, he sells me nitrous at wholesale, and I bang his wife." And Brian goes, "Those both sound like things for you."
Damn, I need to find that dentist first off.
Oh man!
All right,
All
hold
right.
on. Let me find this clip. Oh, here's a nice little cringy thing from LeBron James, who I love dearly, but is just the cringiest man easily. There's kings and queens / royalty in America as well, and I hope I can be one of the ones who showcase that on a daily basis. James gang at home, love our family so damn much. And it's a picture of him and his 3 kids.
Okay, that's kind of cute. I like that.
I hated it.
Did you see that he went bald?
I mean, no, he shaved his head?
Yeah, he shaved his head bald. He's in his bald era.
Good. He needed to do that like 10 years ago.
Yeah, I need to do it soon too. My
No, you
hairline
don't.
Dude, it's on the run. It's on the run.
Is it really?
Yeah, dude. It's bad. That's why I don't have my camera turned on. I actually have a webcam.
Hold on. So here we go. Point of view. You finally go out with that guy from work. Where is it? Oh no, can I not play?
Oh,
Instagram.
here we go.
I can't play Instagram clips off my computer. Never mind. Our listeners will just have to imagine how funny that would be.
This guy. All right, my dinner's here, I think. Let's wrap up test episode 3, aka real episode 1, possibly, maybe. Any closing thoughts? Any final comments?
My closing thought is I think this was a great episode. I think it should definitely be our first real episode.
I thought it was great too.
For anyone who's still with us at almost an hour runtime, thank you for tuning into the first episode of Totally Biased Music. We have a lot of fun doing this, and we don't really care if you have a lot of fun listening to it. We're still going to put it out anyway.
We're doing it anyway, so fucking strap in, baby.
fucking, if you say you don't like it, we'll kill your family.
Yeah, and to everybody else, don't worry, we'll have a better intro next time. I'll do it, or Christian will do it once he gets a little more energy.
I thought the intro was perfectly fine.
We'll
Been pretty serviceable.
We'll cycle in Trey's NPR voice every once in a while. But anyway, thanks everybody for listening, and I'll play a Carter 3 track on the way out, and goodbye.
Oh, I'm feeling myself. I'm so fly, shawty, think I really fly stealth. I'm so paid, shawty, I could really buy stealth. And I'm feeling my belt, and I'm feeling my sneaks good.